right here. WVON 1690am.
It's 11:08 on the south side of Chicago, and you are officially rocking with the Bigs. I'm your man, Terrence Tomlin.
You already know it's your player partner. I need no introduction. We live here at WVON, another night, episode 4. It's cracking. We got the guys in the building, and it's cracking, man. What's happening, T?
It's definitely cracking, man. I'm in here with my man Gino, the living legend. Fresh out of Wakanda, man. I'm just now fresh from seeing Black Panther, so you know I'm in the spirit, ready to have a good conversation today, man. But we got a lot of hoop to talk about tonight.
No doubt, man. Anybody that hasn't seen Black Panther yet, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But no spoilers tonight. We're not gonna be those guys. But man, anytime that Black people are together as one on anything, I'm always for it. So go see Black Panther as soon as you can. It's a must. Use your imagination, and it's all about the people, man.
Definitely go see Black Panther once. Go see it twice. Go see it 3 times. I saw it with the straight-up family reunion style with all of my family. So shout out to my family for a good night at the movies. But, man, tonight was the city championship, man. We finally get to crown a champion of the public league.
The matchup everybody was waiting for. Well, before we get there, man, we had a Final Four matchup. Well, before we even get there, I have to speak on something, man. Can I look into a camera? Yeah, man.
Look into the eyes of the people.
To the people, man. So, first off, I want to give a shout-out to my boy Carl Kemp, the executive director of CPS Sports. He did an outstanding job this weekend, so salute to you, Carl. But me and my partner, Derek Ellison, man, we were sitting at the table today, at the press table. Now, the press table, you know where you work, where you do your thing. We were sitting there, we were getting ready to work, and some CPS heavyweights came in the building.
Okay.
We were asked to move, which is fine. I don't mind moving for heavyweights. I have all the respect in the world. But we weren't offered anywhere else to sit. They just told us, you guys have to move. And it's like, isn't this the press table where we get our work done? There were other press outlets there. They didn't ask them to move. So I took it personal, but I wasn't going to let that affect the work that we put in. So we did end up getting the job done. But it would be more respectful if you would offer us somewhere to get our work done next time and not just tell us to move. But again, got to shout out my boy Carl Kemp, executive director over there for CPS. Great job for the tournament this weekend. But
definitely shout out to Carl Kemp, always holding us down. But Gino, you told me that everything went down when I got to Chicago State, man. But unfortunately, I'm not surprised, man. That's one of the things that unfortunately we got to deal with at some of these events. But like you said, man, we hold it down because what we're there for is to get this platform to the people, to the kids that deserve it.
Can you spit that number, the call-in number again for the people one more time?
Definitely, man. We want y'all to call in. It's 773-591-1690. Hit us up, blow us up, come rock with us tonight. But like I said, man, we definitely want to come and hold it down and do work. So shout out to all the good people at CPS that try to make it a smooth environment.
Period. But yeah, great game, great Final Four, man. We caught some Final Four action. We had Curie versus Orr. Or it was way too much for Curie. They got them out of the way real quick. Then we had Whitney Young versus Simeon, the matchup of the 4A championship last year. Simeon came out on top, which led to today's matchup, and I'll let you kick that one off, man.
Man, definitely, like you said, it was the matchup that we've been waiting on. I know if I didn't get this matchup before the year ended, I would have had to flip some tables or something like that because I needed Simeon versus Orr. And that's exactly what we got, man. Wire-to-wire matchup with, the two best teams in the city. I think at halftime we were tied, man, but Simeon went on to stretch it out in the fourth quarter. But, man, they got the best player in the state, man, Taylor Horton-Tucker.
Taylor, man, good old Taylor. I went and told Mama Tucker, shout out to Mama Tucker. It's always a pleasure when we see Mama Tucker in the building. But I told her at halftime, Taylor needs one shot to fall because he had a couple great moves in the first half. The shots didn't fall. I saw him kind of get down on himself a little bit, but you knew that wasn't going to last. So I told Mama Horton at halftime, once one of those shots fell, it was going to open up for him, and it was really going to go down. So shout out to Taylor for leading the squad. But I think we got a caller, man. I see Vinny on the line, T.
Vinny, talk to us, man.
What's up, T-Tom?
What's going on, Vinny, man? Thank you for rocking with us tonight.
My man V-Mo on the line.
Man, you know I love both of you guys, man. Y'all doing an excellent job, man. Keep doing what y'all doing for the people, by the people, and I forgot the rest, but that's what y'all do. I love you brothers, man.
Much love, V.
Hey, but I was there, and I seen what Gene was talking about with the CPS, and that was very unprofessional. And we just going to move on from that, but I just wanted to testify to that. No. But what a great game today, brothers. Can y'all elaborate on that with me, man?
Definitely was a great game, man. Like I said, it was the matchup we were waiting on. We know anytime you get the best from the South Side versus the best from the West Side, it's going to come with all the extra talk, all the extra excitement. But you can't take anything away from Orr, man. Those guys at Orr really, have had a strong season. Really just ran up, up against who I thought was the best team all year. But, man, I love the way Orr played. I thought they missed, a couple of opportunities to, make the game a little closer. But, man, I want to give all, the credit to Simeon, though.
We got to give the credit to Simeon, and we can't slight Orr because they came to do what they came to do. But Simeon just the best team in the city and the state. And I really think those trifectas that Taylor made, 1, 2, 3 in a row, I think they kind of sucked the life out of them, man.
That 100% sucked the life out of them, Lil V. Like I said, when I talked to Mama Horton at halftime, Mama Tucker, one shot was going to open the game up, and he ran off 3 in a row, then ended it with a dish off to Messiah for the and one, and I think that definitely took the air out of them. But one thing for sure was I think they had that respect factor for Simeon. I saw it in their eyes, man. Like Terrence said, like my boy T-Tom said, a lot of those plays that we watched Orr play 4 or 5 times this year, and a lot of those were dunks, easy layups. Raekwon Drake was blocking shots off the backboard like He-Man, and none of that happened today. All that stuff was getting smoked at the rim, and like I think there was that respect factor for Simeon that was hiding in the back of Orr's head. So and. Like Terrence, like you said, with Taylor being the best player on the court, that's really what it's going to come down to, how the stars come out at night and Taylor shine bright tonight.
And both of you all are exactly right, Gene, but I just don't like the fact where they try to make it seem like the referees made it more about them and they decided the game in a certain way. Let's just give Simeon their props, and, man, they just came out to play, and they was the better team tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely, V. You can't run away with this when they try to say the refs, tipped it anyway. But, unfortunately, we did have a couple of technicals that came at, crazy times of the game. But, like I said, both teams had opportunities to win it. Both teams, I think, played their best, and I thought we came out with a true champion tonight.
Hey, and V, Marvin is crazy. We all know when you see Marvin.
We know that.
Yeah, when you see Marvin out there.
We know that, but I grew up with Lou. He was like a big brother to me from the hood, but he did give Lou a warning. Whatever Lou said to get the technical, I don't feel he said he got a technical, but I don't know what was said. I will say he gave Lou a warning.
That tech definitely felt like it was.
Whatever was going on with Marvin and Lou, he already had warned Lou. So if you already got warned, it's best to be quiet. You know what I'm saying?
You're 100% right, Lil V, and that's taking nothing away from Simeon. Simeon is clearly the better team. 12 points is clearly the better team. No ref can make a 12-point difference. So, man, appreciate you calling in, Lil V, man. We got another caller on the line, but it looks like we got to take a break. So, actually, let's go to the caller. I think we got Chris on the line. Chris, what's happening, brother?
What's good, bro?
How you feeling?
Decent. Today was a great game. The unsung hero, low-key, for me was Keywan Clements. He played a hell of a game today. He was really out there balling. I mean, I know Chase did his thing. He had to chase around. But he was out there. He set the tempo, the pace of the game, and everything today. I want to know what y'all thought about that.
Oh, no. Check the video we just dropped, man. Keywan Clements was 100% the X factor tonight. Taylor was the player of the game, but Keywan Clements, with his floor leadership, with his great defense, keeping the pressure on Orr, he did a fantastic job, and I think he's one of the most underrated, if not the most underrated point guard in the city right now.
Definitely, man. And Keywan, is easy to lose him in that talented Simeon lineup, but he's definitely been one of my favorite players to watch all season. We've watched him grow over the last couple of years, and this was, I think, his best game that we've seen him play so far, and it was in the championship game. And he definitely put Simeon on his back, you know, put up a couple of early threes that when he knocked them down, you know, you saw how big they were. So Keywan was definitely a big part of it. Chris, man, thank you for calling in, man. We got to go into a timeout. On the other side of this, we're going to go ahead and play the Keywan Clemens interview that Gene just talked about. So on other side of this timeout, you're rocking with the bigs on WVON, the Talk of Chicago. Right back at it. You're rocking with the bigs on WVON, the Talk of Chicago. On the other side of that break, we talked about the interview we just dropped on our Twitter page. One of the city champions we were able to catch up with after they got the W tonight. Gino, you caught up with the man, Keywan Clemens. Chris talked about him on the line on the other side of the break. Man, but he was the X factor tonight.
Definitely, like I said, man, great floor leadership. Like you said, you can easily lose Keywan with all the talent that Simeon has over there, but he's definitely going to show some sign of creativity, some sign of life that's going to let you know that he's out there. And tonight he played big, 18 points, 8 rebounds. And, yeah, like you said, he was clearly the X factor tonight, man.
Definitely, man. We're going to go ahead and play that interview for you guys. You got us, Ron? All right, let's go ahead and play that audio.
69-59 win city championship. We got the most underrated point guard in the city, if you ask me, Keywan Clemens here. Man, talk about your mindset coming into the game, bro.
It was big to me because I'm from the West Side. I grew up with all those kids. So I wanted to show them, like, the reason I really came over here. And you see we won, so.
No doubt, showing improvement, man. You guys held a very good OR team to 30% from the field, man. Talk about that defense.
Yeah, we knew if we wanted to win the game, we just got to play defense. Because against any other team, you guys would probably put up 70, 80 points. So we knew in order to win, we had to stop guys on defense.
Yeah. I talked to Coach Rob earlier. We know X, Messiah, Taylor get most of the attention around here, but he said you, Bakari, Zion Young, and the rest of the guys are the glue to the team. What you got to say about that?
I mean, it's true. We just play our role, get others involved, try to win.
One more thing, man. Three in a row. First time since, I think, 1959. I think Marshall was the last team to do it. What does that say about you and your squad, man?
Some winners. No, do not bet against us.
No doubt. And I got to end it with this.
No, that was Keywan Clemens keeping it real with you. Gino, that's one of the things I loved about the public league this year, man. We had a lot of talk between the teams, not face-to-face, not anything like that, but teams letting them know that, hey, I'm here too. And what you heard was Keywan Clemens responding to that, let them know that, hey, we answered the question and we came out on top.
Came out on top. It was the battle of the West Side versus the South Side, man. Uncle Remus versus Harold's.
Hey, you know if that's the question, which way I'm going.
Come on, man. 6 wings, fried hard.
Fried hard, salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper, mild sauce.
I may need extra mild. Come on.
Man, keep the coleslaw, though.
Hey, I'm actually a Slaw fan, but that's a whole nother
Yeah, the
comment.
Slaw saved Leroy's life. You remember
Shout
that?
out to the Slaw story, saving our man Leroy's life at the Hyde Park Heralds.
No doubt, man. Do we got a call on the line?
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and talk to our man Kenny Mack. Looking forward to bringing our man on the show. I'm happy you calling in. Talk to us, Kenny.
Hey, guys. Hey, I tell you what. Hey, I'm happy to be rolling and rocking with the bigs, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Hey, congratulations on the show. You guys do a wonderful job. I listen every week. Hey, let me tell you about what the technical was. Because, we asked Marvin, we did a game live on the U2, and he had warned the bench once. The technicals went against the assistant coaches for all jumping up. And so then that means it goes against Lou, because the bench technical goes against the head coach. That's why Lou kept saying, I didn't say anything. But it was his assistants that all jumped up. That's why Marvin gave the bench the technical, and that goes against Lou. But you have to control your bench. That's why they were given the technical foul.
Now, that's exactly what we thought in the middle of the game. Marv made a call, and the bench definitely shot up like crazy. So we understood the tech at the time. But, Kenny, I know emotions were high. You definitely don't want to see a tech in that situation, but it definitely seems like it was appropriate.
Yeah, it without question, it was appropriate. And they warned the bench. He gave him a warning, so what else can he do? Yeah, you have to control the bench, and let's be honest. I like Lou Adams, but the bench was out of control. And you have to have some kind of control because you're going to have control during the state playoffs. You can't jump up and down and scream. So, you know what? You can't blame Marvin. He warned the bench. I thought the technical was warned. It wouldn't have made a difference. They couldn't beat Simeon anyway. And what a wonderful crowd at Chicago State. That place was 99% full. It's just a shame that every year at the city championship game, the clock doesn't work at Chicago State. You build a $10 million arena, you got a $2 clock in there, which is just stupid.
I'm telling you, Kenny, man. Gino and I was watching the game, didn't know which clock to look at. We ended up having to pull up the stream of the U2 game to make sure the score was right because, we were wondering what was going on with that.
Yeah, every year. It's like that every year. This clock doesn't work. You get 4 clocks with 4 different timings and 4 different scores on there. But they built that new arena. But if you notice, the scoreboard is an old, raggedy scoreboard, which is just embarrassing. I think to Chicago State, especially with a sellout crowd like that, you want to get people on their campus in that building because the boys and girls teams of Chicago State don't draw 100 people. So you get 6,000 people in there, and they can't get a clock to work, and it's every year. It's an embarrassment, I think, to Chicago State.
Kenny, it's evident of Chicago State, what they've been and where they're headed. I went to Chicago State, so I'm not ashamed to say that it's not the place to be, man. And that's definitely a telltale sign that the next city playoffs need to be at Wintrust.
Thank you.
Or anywhere other than Chicago State. But like you said, too, Kenny, Or was just not the better team tonight. You got to give Simeon all the credit. That Tech didn't mean anything. And,
right.
3 in a row for Simeon. Kenny, you weren't around for that Marshall run.
No, I was not around for the Marshall run. I'm old, but I'm not that old.
No, my bad,
but
man.
I tell you what, this Simeon team is really good. This may be the deepest team he's ever had, and that's including with Jabari and Derek. This team from A to Z, they're just so deep. Like you say, people forget about Clemens, and Pinson comes off the bench. He's a D1 player. It was just an awesome display of talent, especially in the second half, man. And you guys been there all year. You've seen Simeon play. I don't think anybody can beat them in 4A. And Orr's going to win in 2A, so they'll be okay.
Yeah, Orr will definitely be okay. They won't face anyone tough as Simeon. But like you said, guys coming off the bench, I'm especially impressed with that kid, Zion Young. I was watching him throughout the game that first half. He didn't look too happy to not see the court, but he kept his head. And, man, he was a vital part of that second half, Kenny. He may have only had 5 points, but that tip dunk he got and his tough play at the rim that we used to seeing Raekwon Drake and Danny Smith play tough, I think they took the toughness away from them, and I got to give credit to Zion Young for being a big part of that.
Well, I tell you what, that tip dunk may have been the play of the game. That really put some spark back into Simeon. And I tell you, you're right. That was a great play, and that bench is just so good, man. It's just unbelievable how good this team is.
Definitely, Kenny, man. Thank you for calling in. We appreciate chopping it up with you anytime.
All right, but guys, keep up the wonderful work. And one final thing, $10 to park at Chicago State is ridiculous.
Definitely, man. Gino, Kenny sounds like Kenny's been on in the car riding with us on the way to these games.
Hey, Kenny, I've watched Chicago State's park, and I went to school there for a few years, so I watched it go from free to 2 to 3 to 5 to 10. So today, you know what I did? I parked on 94th and Champlain and walked.
Hey, there you go. That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, I mean, it's just too much for a high school basketball game. Just my opinion.
Yeah,
hey, guys, you know what? You guys do a wonderful job. I know you got to go, but continue success and continue the good work, please.
Love, brother. We appreciate you, man.
Definitely.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
All right, man. We can go right into another caller, man. Our man, Officer 2 Street, has been holding. Talk to us, man.
Brothers, hey, I just want to give positive praise to you, brothers, for showing the self-control as far as that little, issue as far as, having to move and whatnot, because I'm just getting off the gig, and I work for the county, and I try to teach these young brothers some, social skills like that. I just want to give you your props, and I think you brothers are doing an excellent job, and I hope to connect with you in the near future so I can help maybe a couple of you brothers to come in, maybe meet with some of the individuals that are being detained, and can get, be given some positive praise to keep their heads up. And, that's why they call me Officer 2 Street, because I'm sort of radical, but, I'm just getting off the gig, and just wanted to give you that plug. I really appreciate the work that you brothers are doing, and I'm going to be in contact.
Definitely, man. You know that means the world to me and Gene.
Definitely, my brother. So I want y'all to just keep it up, stay strong, and stay focused. Take care.
Thank you, brother, man. You know me and Gene try to always set an example with the bigs on how to do it the right way, to play away. So we always, love to talk to anybody, man. We'll talk to the kids at the school. We'll talk to the guys that's sitting down. Whatever, man. We'll love to spread a positive message. But, man, let's go ahead and let's get to a break. On the other side, we got a nice treat for everybody. Got our man Cameron Smith from CN100 going to be talking about the city playoffs with us. But let's go to this timeout, man, on the other side. Stay rocking with us on WVON, the Talk of Chicago.
Let's go.
Welcome back to the show.
Shout out to everybody tuned in. You are back rocking with the bigs on WVON. And, man, T, I just want to give a shout out to technology, man. Being able to play the video, the audio of the video over the radio.
It's wicked over here, man. We got that Wakanda technology,
man, Joe,
going on in the WVON studios tonight, holding us down with all the next level technology.
T'Challa going on around here, but man, we got our family member on the line.
Yes, sir.
You can catch him at CN100. You can catch him on CBS late nights. You can catch him on the YouTube. It's the man of many worlds. It's our family member, our player partner, Killer Cameron Smith on the line. Cam, what's good, bro?
Man, Gene, T, what's good, brothers? It's definitely great to be on the show, man. I definitely appreciate it. Man, I'm excited, man. I'm still riding that high. Obviously, we'll get into it about the city title tonight at Chicago State. But first, I want to say, man, much love to you, brothers, what y'all doing with the show over at WVON, at the Talk of Chicago. And, man, you definitely have made your own way in this city, which is not easy for us. So I want to say congratulations on all the success. And definitely, I appreciate being on the show.
Man, Cam, like I said before the break, man, that means the world to me and Gene. You're definitely one of the guys that we've learned from and been blessed to have been around so much in this industry. Thank you for everything that you've done. And it was only right that we brought you on this show as quick as possible,
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. I had to get on, man. I was kind of pestering you guys like, man, I got to get on, man.
No, hey, man, you ain't never got to.
You guys get me on.
Hey, don't you ever think you pestering us, man. It's all love over here, brother.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, 100%.
But before we kick it off, man, let the people know where they can find you, man. I bigged you up a little bit, but it's nothing better than bigging up yourself. Let the people know how you get out, man.
No, I agree with you, man. You can find me on CBS 2 Chicago, holding down the sports anchor in there, kind of majority of the weekends. But as of right now, with the high school basketball season, just kind of in the meat of it as we get close to the state tournament time, you can find me on Comcast Channel 100, at CN100 Sports, as well as WCIU's YouTube Game of the Week broadcast. So I'm all over the place. I'm still glad that my wife is still married to me and that she's a very, very understanding woman, especially with a 1-year-old at home.
Yeah.
Especially with a 1-year-old at home. So she's let me pursue my passion and continue to do this career, man. But I'm definitely all over the place. If you want to find me on social media, it's at Cameron Smith. No Ian in Cameron. Just Cameron Smith, man. I don't get no funky handle or nothing like that. So you can find me on all social media.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a straight government, man. That's too fancy with it. So you can find me on all social media platforms with that.
Definitely can, man. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. The city playoffs, man, we were finally able to crown the champion of the public league. But, man, I think we may have called it at the beginning of the season that Simeon was definitely one of the top teams coming into the season, and they definitely finally went on and got the hardware to back it up tonight.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, I want to kind of throw it back even to last season. When you think about Simeon and Whitney Young, what they did in that epic overtime 4A state championship game, which I was providing the color commentary for. So I really said that those two teams could very well be there in the same position next season, this season 2017-2018. I'm not sure what Young is going to be able to do in the state tournament. We'll get into their road to getting back down to Peoria. But with a team like Simeon and what they had coming back, you had to believe that with Taylor Horton-Tucker, Messiah Jones, Kejuan Clements, who's really the unsung hero of that team this season, that they would be in a great position not only win state, but to also make up for the loss of last season and win. They want to win city, but also to make up the loss of last season, missing out on that state championship ring. And they've just been dominant, man. They really have been dominant. And we even heard Rob Smith say this, that this is probably the most dominant team that he's coached since the Derrick Rose years. And that's saying a lot. Because if you go back in time and you look at the guys that Robert Smith has coached in that kind of Derrick Rose to this year's team now with Chandler Horton-Tucker, there's a big name that you can't overlook, and that's Jabari Parker. So who is, basically in our eyes, one of the top players in the country when he was coming out of high school. So to say that this year's team was more dominant than them, and this team has a lot less size than that Jabari Parker team, and to see them dominate not only in Illinois but also do some great things nationally, then you got to believe and agree with Rob Smith that this is one of the more dominant teams that we've seen in Simeon history.
Yeah, I'm going to have to – I don't have a choice but to agree with Rob with that, especially when you say Derrick Rose and Jabari Parker. Those are NBA greats. So if that says anything, that's saying one of these guys is going to be an NBA great. And we're going to lead into that with what do you think about Taylor, man? Do you think Taylor is flat-out player of the year this year?
Yeah, no question. No question. And if he doesn't win this award, just the way that he's played individually and how his team has won, then there's something wrong with the voting system. And that's just being honest. Yeah. And I know a lot of people out there are saying it's between him and Ayo Dosunmu from Morgan Park, and Ayo's a great player. I've seen him elevate his game from the time he was at Westinghouse to where he is now at Morgan Park. But at the same time, you have to factor in the games that he's missed. Morgan Park hasn't won as much, with or without Ayo on the court. And you can't fault him for that because injuries happen in the game. But at the same time, you can't fault Taylor Horton-Tucker for just being great this season and give that award to Ayo. So the award is Taylor's. It's really his to lose. And I think for them, obviously, the icing on the cake would be winning that 4A state championship. But this is a kid, man, that was kind of groomed to be in this position, man, when you think about it. The guys that he saw coming up, obviously with Jabari and a lot of cats like DJ Williams and Zach Norvell, who's over at Gonzaga right now, Evan Gilliard, who's down in Texas at UTEP. He's seen guys win at a high level. That's winning a city championship, guys that have either played or won state championships. So that was something that his freshman and sophomore year that he knew he wanted, and actually won a city championship his sophomore year. So that just made him even more thirstier to just set himself apart from all of the players that have come through Simeon, man. So this kid has really set his mind to being the best player, not only just in Illinois, but also in the country, man. And he's really getting it done with his offensive skills. I like to call him smooth operator. So I give cats a lot of nicknames. Gene, I know you do the same thing. You too, T, with the nicknames. So I like to call him smooth operator, a little ode to my girl Sade, because he just the way he moves on the court, his fluidness, just the combination that he puts together in terms of with his handle and his shot is something that you really can't defend. And we not only saw that today in the city championship against Orr, but we've seen this against teams like Montverde, who is the number one team in the country, or teams like Memphis East, who was number one in the country at the time, and Taylor is still putting up 25, 30, 35. So it's not just he's getting it done locally, he's getting it done nationally as well.
Definitely, man. And I love that nickname for Taylor, man, the smooth operator. That definitely, describes his game perfectly. But like you said, man, I really think Taylor continues to add to his legacy as one of those elite, Simeon Wolverines, man. A three-peat as far as city champions. Mm-hmm. And definitely I would call them the favorites to go home and bring the state championship home. And I think it couldn't happen to a better kid, man. You talk about Taylor Horton-Tucker on the court, but off the court, man, you have to love how he handles, everything from kids that come to see him play, from interviews with us, and I know you've, had plenty of interviews with Taylor, but off the court, man, he definitely is just as good.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's, we definitely got to give a shout out to his mother Shirley, and also that family covering that he has. So many uncles and aunts that look out for him because they understand kind of the challenges that that he's going to face in his life, man. With the spotlight being at Simeon being the star player, so they've really prepared him for this level and the stage that he's on now, and he's handling it well. Especially, obviously, you go back to his whole commitment day with Iowa State and choosing them over Illinois and Xavier. And he handled that press conference like a pro. He got asked tough questions, didn't back down, didn't stutter, didn't back down on his commitment to that school, and just stood firm in his belief that he was going to make an impact at Iowa State, which he will. So this is again, man. It's great to see these young men do a great job, not only just on the court but also off the court. Great student off the court as well, and that's the bigger picture with all of these kids that we're seeing coming out of Chicago within this generation, man. Cats like Jabari, Jaleel Okafor, Io as well over at Morgan Park, man. These kids understand and get it that, hey, I not only have to get it done on the basketball court, but I have to get it done in the classroom and also be a good person to make sure that I'm giving off some positive vibes, man. That's a credit to their families and to their parents, man. So you definitely got to commend them on the job that they've done raising these kids, because it's not easy, especially here in Chicago. We all know that it's not easy with some of these things that these kids go through.
It's definitely not easy, man, and that leads into what I wanted to ask you about, Cam. Man, the Spartans. You're talking about a team from the West Side who over the last couple of years have completely brought this program out of the mud and into respectability, and, people are not asking questions. Are they a powerhouse? You look at what they were able to do this season, and to be in the championship game and take Simeon as far as they did, I definitely think you got to tip your caps. Tip your caps to guys like Danny Smith and Raekwon Drake and Chase Adams and Lou Adams over there at Orr.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. And I got to be honest with y'all, since I'm with family, so I'm going to speak from the heart, man. I'm from the West Side, so I was a little hurt when I saw Orr lose. But at the same time,
Cam had his heart in it.
Cam.
So, but
no, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, man, that, being from the West Side, I'm like, man, it would be good to see a West Side team win city, because Simeon has been dominating for so long, man. But at the same time, man, I mean, the best team won tonight now for Simeon, but to give Lou Adams and that program the most respect and credit that they do deserve, because it's hard for a coach, especially coming from a school like Orr, to transform that culture and to get kids to believe that they are champions and to get them to believe that they can do more than that they think of themselves. So Lou obviously has really put himself through a lot of health situations, right, because he just pours his heart into that school, into that program, and these kids, man. And that's the great thing that I really respect and admire about Lou. And even going back to earlier this week, going to the premiere of Shot in the Dark, yeah, with that Chance the Rapper and Dwayne Wade behind it, really pumping that. That'll be on Fox, I believe, February 24th. Yeah. But you'll get to see just Lou Adams' passion, not even just for basketball, man, but for these kids. And if you grew up in Chicago, and we all did, whether it's South Side, West Side, it's all the same, because we go through it all, whether it's drugs, gangs, shootings, killings, all of that stuff. I think Lou understands that, and he really, really gets these kids, because he's from these same streets that they're from, and he wants to shield them and give them a better option of getting out of the neighborhood. And that's what you'll see in that premiere Shot in the Dark. But again, I mean, they continue each year to build and elevate their resume in Chicago, which is not easy to do, because we always hear about the Simeons, the Whitney Youngs, the Curies nowadays as well, them coming off that state championship a couple of years ago, and also Morgan Park. But Orr is that new program that is opening a lot more eyes. Obviously, when you win, you do that. And I think they're going to be back-to-back state champions in 2A. There's no doubt about it. But Lou Adams and his coaching staff and just the parents and these kids, man, I really commend them on the job that they're doing.
Definite shout-out to Coach Lou Adams over there. I feel like the more you resonate with those players, the deeper they get with you and the more they'll pour out for you. And you can see that those guys play with passion, with heart. They were really hurt tonight that they lost to Simeon. They thought they had just as good a chance. They're talented, so like you said, it's dope to see the West Side get some shine. Cam, I'm not biased, so it's great to see Orr bring that back. But I want to take it back to Simeon and talking about Coach Robert Smith. We know X Pinson and Taylor and Messiah get a lot of the credit over there, but I asked him about Keyjuan Clements and Bakari Simmons and Zion Young and a couple of the other players who are, don't get as much fanfare but are just as important to the team. And he said they're really the glue to the team because they do the stuff that the other guys don't do. And, like you said, it takes everybody to make that thing go right.
Yeah, Jen, you hit it on the head right there, man. If you go back and look at or listen to or read a lot of interviews from Coach Rob and Taylor or Messiah, the one name that always pops up is Keyjuan Clements. Keyjuan Clements did a good job of controlling the tempo, or Keyjuan Clements is our hero, our leader, or the mentally tough guy on the team that gets us through tough spots. And I think the respect factor for Keyjuan that he has, obviously, he played major minutes since his freshman year coming to Simeon, which is not easy to do. He came in, a guy from the west side of Chicago, and I just found this out tonight, too, that Coach Rob grew up on the west side, so he's from the west side, so I didn't know that.
Wow.
So you're talking about two cats with that mentality, and obviously I'm kind of, throwing a little west side love into more just to let y'all know that, we out here. But Keyjuan, man, he's just a dude that is he's comfortable within himself, and you don't see that with a lot of teenagers and kids at his age.
True.
Like, he carries himself like an adult. He doesn't kind of get too rattled or makes a turnover and puts his head down. He kind of goes to the next place. So it's hard for high school kids to accept their roles. And for him right now, for this season, actually, since he's been at Simeon, it's been that guy, like the background guy, that just been the nuts and bolts of the well-oiled machine that just kind of keeps the wheels turning, keeps the wheels moving, and he's getting more shine because obviously you're seeing him make more impact plays in those crucial moments where Rob puts him in position to either create something off the dribble or get to the lane or dump it off to Messiah for a dunk or lob it to Taylor. Those are the kind of plays that, get you in those positions to win city or state championships. So Keyjuan has been impressive, man, and he needs more pub and love out there across the city of Chicago. But he'll get it definitely, especially next year when it'll be his team, when his senior season comes. So for him now, it's more about just building up until that point. But he's a kid that should have more D1 offers on his end. I'm not sure what his recruiting situation is exactly, but you'll see him making an impact on the D1 level after he leaves Simeon. But to touch on those other cats like Zion Young, Xavier Pinson that came over from St. Pat's, man, those cats again, man, it's so hard to get high school kids, especially at a high-profile school like Simeon, to think about we and not me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Everybody wants to try and get their own and get their name out and get more offers at the same, and it's really selfless of them to say, okay, well, we know Taylor's going to get his because he's the man. Offense runs through him. But where am I going to be able to pick my spots and make an impact? And it doesn't necessarily have to be scoring the basketball.
Yeah.
It can be defensively as well. And that's, again, you talk about coaches like Lou Adams, Rob Smith, Nick Irvin, Tyrone Slaughter. They get these kids to understand their roles and get them to believe and coach them to a point where they know what they're going to get, what's expected of them, and what they should be doing on the court. If not, hey, we can get somebody else in. They'll take those minutes as well. So cats like Zion and Xavier Pinson, Bakari, Simmons, Bobby's son.
How you doing, Cam? I don't know. I think we may look like we lost Cam. But, man, let's go ahead and try to get Cam back on the other side of this break. We'll take a timeout, try to get Cam back on the line. You're rocking with the Bigs live on WVON, the Talk of Chicago.
Yes, sir.
Right back at it. You're rocking with the Bigs live on WVON, the Talk of Chicago. We got our man Cameron Smith from CN100 back on the line. Cam, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Definitely.
Cam got that Taliban phone, man.
It's dropping out at any second. I don't know what's going to do. No, man, Cam. Go ahead.
Spring that one more time. Spring that one more time, man, to drop a call on me. I'm changing to somebody else, man.
Definitely, we're going to need a reimbursement on that bill. But, no, man, Cam, you definitely were hitting the nail right on the head on the other side of that break, talking about the Simeon Wolverines and all that talent they have on that roster, but at the same time, everybody being able to play their role and effectively get their shine because they bought into the message that Coach Rob Smith was selling.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. And it was a saying that I think I want to say Jay Billis said maybe a couple of years ago, and this was around the NCAA tournament time, is that these kids nowadays need to realize that they can be a star in their own roles. You don't have to be a star on the team, but be a star in your role, whether that's a defensive guy, whether that's a rebounder, whether that's a, set up, run an offense type of guy, or even a guy on the bench, like a rah-rah guy. Just be a star in that, man, and you can help the team. Everybody was so just consumed with thinking that I have to have the basketball to make an impact on the court. That's not necessarily the fact. And if you think that as a basketball player and you're young, then you're being taught the wrong way to play the game.
Yep, I've spoken like a genius, Cam. Anytime I can run into the shorties, I always tell them that it's not all about the stats, man. It's not all about what you see on the stat sheet. It's about what you give to the team, what you contribute to the team. And those guys that sit in the stands that are giving out scholarships, that's really what they're looking for. So like you said, it's very important to find yourself, find your role, and see how you can contribute to the team, because at the end of the day, the old cliche is there's no I in team. So shout out to Simeon, man.
Yeah, getting it done, man. It's a credit to Rob Smith and the staff. And they do it year in and year out. You think about all the guys that have come to that school that have either played D1 or playing overseas currently, or played overseas or in the league now, like D Rose and Jabari Parker. But, I mean, he gets those guys to play his system. Obviously, he gives them a little longer leash than everybody else because they're talented. But at the same time, man, they do what's expected of them, and they do what's asked of them as well. So you never seen Derrick Rose or Jabari Parker just go off and not listen to Rob Smith and jack up shots,
right?
Because they know they'll be sitting on the bench.
Definitely, man. Man, Cam, wish we can talk, here for another hour or two. Next time we're gonna have to get you to come down and sit in studio with us, man.
Oh, no doubt. I'll definitely be down there, man. Just let me know so I can get my wife the heads up.
Yeah, man, we may have to send one of the Biggs family members to go ahead and babysit for you. But no, Cam, man, thank you so much for rocking with us, man. It's all love.
Always all love, man. I appreciate you, brothers. Thank you so much for having me on. Keep doing what y'all doing. Proud of y'all. Y'all know y'all got a fan of me always, man, 100%.
Love, brother. The hashtag is us, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Always.
Love.
Yes, sir. That was Cameron Smith, Killer Cam, one of the big certified guys, man, on our journey. One of the guys that's been there every step of the way, man. Thank you for joining us, talking all the high school hoops you can handle tonight.
Man, it was cracking, man. Another episode down. What's that episode? It seemed like episode 7, but I know it's only 4.
Man, it's episode 4, man. It's been a great month for us, man. Thank you for everybody that's tuned in. Thank you for everybody that's been rocking with the Bigs and has been able to tune in. Thank you for all the new listeners that we've been able to snatch up over this last month. Man, Gino, I'm loving this.
You already know what it is over here, man. It's the Bigs, the voice of the people, for the people, but most importantly, by the people, man. We stay away from the haters. We show love, spread love. But most importantly, man, we always, man, got to keep it player, bro.
Definitely always got to keep it playing, man. Shout out to my GTD brothers. You know who you are. Shout out, I got to give a special shout out tonight, man, to Grandma Jackie. I know you out there listening. Hope your shoulder feels better. That's for me to you. But, Gino, man, right before we wrap this one up, All-Star Weekend in the books.
All-Star Weekend, man, another one down. It was kind of huff, but that's the NBA nowadays. The league is huff, in my opinion. The All-Star game was decent for the last 4 minutes. They started hooping. It came down to a D-up. Team LeBron came away with the W. LeBron James with another MVP. I'm not sure. How many is that, 7?
I don't know.
Right.
Enough.
Right.
King James has come in and held it down, since forever, and I'm not surprised to see him rack up another one,
Yeah, me either, man. I'm not mad at him. Shout out to this second half of the league going down.
Shout out to Larry Nance Jr., who I thought got robbed last night in that slam dunk contest. Not to take anything away from Donovan Mitchell, but the double tap dunk took it for me, man.
The double tap was serious business. I had to watch it a few times. But, they definitely brought it back. But, hey, man, it's a wrap, T.
It's a wrap tonight, man. Already looking forward to next week. Tune in Sundays, 11 p.m. to 12 midnight. You're rocking with the Bigs live on WVON, the Talk of Chicago.
Vert shoulder.